This is the first stock I put as much as I could into Tesla, and then I put the rest into Zillow because Zillow was cheaper and they don't have fractional shares. And that $6,900 literally became $101,000. Like, again, it shows the conviction. You know, I always get people like to bag and go like, oh yeah, Tesla's the only thing that went right or whatever. No, like a lot of stocks have gone well. Tesla has obviously substantially overperformed, but I kept my conviction high.
Why am I discussing risks? Because this is from Zillow's presentation. Today's consumers expect push button magic happens exchanges. So investing is not really push button magic happens, and that's something by learning, by knowing more about investing, that I hope many will understand and protect themselves from the risks out there. With today's hot internet stocks, fundamentals are old hat, and the term old hat is more. Next one, Zillow, the real estate company, IPO'd 2011, so a little bit earlier, then jumped up and down depending on the trends with real estate, but not far up till recently. This is over 10 years. It did underperform the S&P 500, but since March, boom, explosion with a 34 billion market capitalization. Net income, however, has also imploded to the negative as the company is investing. Is okay, growing, really nice growth here. Let's put it into our table. So Zillow revenue 3.4 billion, market cap 34 billion. So it has to double to 70 billion, price earnings ratio 40, 70 divided by 40. We have to get to an earnings rate of 1.67 billion on 10% net margin. We are at somewhere 16 billion in revenues. So they need to grow around 5 times to reach that. So that's possible, especially
others, but it'll also benefit companies like Redfin, Opendoor, and Zillow. I think that is a real trade. And so potentially, you know, I don't want to just do the generic, make sure to diversify. I want to give you some actual tangible insight here. And to me, maybe a good play is now focusing my attention on throwing as much money as I can into the real estate and housing sector. So getting a little bit heavier again, which I'm already pretty heavy, but Opendoor, Zillow, and Redfin, they don't even realize the disruption that EXPI is going to cause. It's another thing to consider. Is it possible that we should also dump more money on a red day like today for Etsy into companies like Etsy? Get into those consumer cyclicals a little more. Get into the Amazon. Get into the Etsy, the Wayfair, phenomenal company. Staying away from the cannabis and the different things. So you've got Redfin, in my opinion, is going to be the winner in the iBuyer model. We'll see. Because they've also got the agent division, which Opendoor and Zillow don't have. But EXPI as a real estate brokerage, to me, is the death of Remax, Keller Williams, Century 21, and those types of brokerages, unless they adapt really fast. EXPI with the MLM model, brilliant, brilliant. It is the Volkswagen of real estate brokerages. Everybody's got to have a Volkswagen. Now, in terms of Compass, because this comes up when I talk
compared to some of the other big real estate internet companies like Zillow and Redfin. Now they are applying e-commerce and tech to the real estate buying and selling process, which I believe is a big disruptor in a very traditional industry. Overall, I think the stock is better for people with some short-term risk, but in the long term, I think Opendoor will do very well with its share price. And that is why I'm adding more of it into my portfolio. Okay, next up on my list is Square, stock ticker SQ.
And this apartment worked perfectly.
Oh, dude. We gotta go to Zillow and start shopping. Okay, so look, I just went to Zillow really quick. I obviously don't know Pittsburgh, but I'm just...
Companies, by the way, just look at the list. Spotify, Roku, Zillow, Facebook, Shopify, Apple, Nintendo. These are awesome companies. I'm just saying that ARK has chosen to grow other positions at the cost of letting these companies grow less and become smaller positions in the fund as a result. Each row is colored by its percent change in shares, and you can see that most of these companies are still in the green, meaning ARK has picked up.
The flippers do which could be Opendoor, Redfin, Zillow. So they have instant value that they've added, even if they don't have like a ton of money. So, but if they don't have money to take it down themselves, they'll do what's called wholesaling it.
And COVID. Very, very big. Big market. I do want to clarify, Zillow lets you do virtual tours, but they don't use Matterport. They want you to use their own app. A little risk factor. I want to bring that up. Redfin's using them exclusively. Realtors use them a lot. Obviously, Airbnb, commercial property markets. Oh, this is such a huge potential right here. Insurance and construction. Back when I did contracting, I would use this to basically... Redfin, to me, is the favorite over Opendoor and Zillow. We'll see. Redfin and Opendoor, or Zillow and Opendoor are trying to innovate. See how they do. We'll see. What's losing again right now? So Zom, GameStop, same thing here. So nothing new here. Express, CCIV, yeah. No.
Completely dwarfing every other. We dwarf Zillow. I mean, we dwarfed everybody. So,
How many agents?
Excuse me?
How many agents?
Do we have total?
Yeah.
I think we're over 45,000.
Okay.
So that's kind of that's my calculus, right? I mean, so if we're trading at 160 or 150 or 140 or 130 at 45,000 agents, well, what are we going to be trading at when we're 100,000 agents? What are we going to be trading at when we're 500,000 agents global? So that's kind of.
And in after hours over here on AMC moving up. We've got, Zillow's reporting.
The first half of the year. Traffic to Zillow mobile apps.
This is really big for Redfin, by the way, especially if their margin goes up.
Unique users for the full year, Zillow saw a record 9.6 billion visits, up 19% year over year. And Q1 revenue guidance, very strong, 1.07 billion versus 1.11 billion versus estimates of 892 million. CEO Richard Barton said in the shareholder letter that they continue to invest in technology, and he announced their intent to acquire Showing Time, a real estate showing software technology.
Shareholder letter, we can see that in a second. Zillow sees quarter 1 adjusted EBITDA 114 to 138 mil with an estimate of 79. That's a huge beat on expectations here for future. Zillow Group reports quarter 4, which is the last one here, revenue of 789 versus, wow, that's still, what is that, like a 7% beat on revenue here? That's huge. Moving in after hours with them. So let's get Zillow up here. So Zillow crushing it. They were actually down 2% on the day. Not a lot of enthusiasm for them today, but they are up at 9.9% now. That should move Redfin. It's barely moving Redfin though. It's moving Redfin 2% in after hours right here. Let's see if it's correlating. Yeah, it is. Redfin's kind of moving with Zillow here a little bit. But gosh, Zillow just crushed it. I hope Redfin crushes it like this as well. I don't have as much money invested in Zillow as I do in Redfin, but wow, Zillow. Y'all are saying the weed market, the weed market somehow pushed Zillow. Yeah, Zillow to, this is what they were referring to. Zillow to acquire Showing Time for $500 million. What is Showing Time? Let's pull that up. That crap manually. Woo! Zillow's buying them. Interesting. That's a good idea. That's smart. Wow. Zillow, you can't count them out. You just can't count Zillow out. As much as I prefer Redfin, I'm telling you, do not count Zillow out. Look at that. Zillow 9.2% here. Tilray, though, look at Tilray in the cannabis space moving. Look at this. Look at this climb. It's nuts. I mean, I kind of want to put some more money into Clever here. That's where I want to put money right now. I don't know that I could put it onto. So I want to know, why is Microvision going up? Now, Zillow, very impressive. That immediately helped us remove our losses at Redfin for the day. I've got over 7 fakes in the red of the fins. And so what's good for Zillow is good for Redfin. So I like that. Zillow up 12%. Clever only up 4.5. Still about half of what Sundial is doing. We'll see. See what happens. So I got Nancy Pelosi and her husband just bought $1 million in AB. Really? Nancy Pelosi. Wow. Short interest on Power. Sure, I'll look at that. So AB. We've got Redfin up 3%. We've got Zillow up 11.7%. Really, really good move. I want to dig into that too to see how their margin is on the flipping business. My guess is it's great because the market has just been so enthusiastic about buying up real estate. Microvision is coming up to $20, up 38% right now. Absolutely unreal right now, the Microvision move. Shocking move. I would expect a green day for. Anyway, yesterday on the live stream, I remember we talked about Zillow's earnings and how that should pull Redfin up, and it did. Pulled them up 6% today, which is more than the 3% they were up in after hours yesterday. I know a lot of people didn't really love the EXPI guy, but that stock is up 7%. Yeah, it was a good conversation. Insightful. I think I'm serious. That's what's moving these things. Look at how Zillow ended 17.7% up. Absolutely unreal. Redfin could be a buying opportunity. Redfin only up 6.5% after Zillow's move. That's almost 3x that. Redfin's earnings coming up on the 24th. EXPI up 7% again. Upwork. This is a company you got to own. $56. It's cheap. It's been going up like crazy. I've been holding this one for a while. I keep adding to it. It's a great company to have. Lemonade up again today. It will not go under the 140s. It doesn't matter how many people rag on Lemonade. That thing will not go down. Cannabis sold off hardcore today. One that I really want to go through and read. That's a good one. Zillow is really going to set us up for Redfin, so we'll see how that does. But Disney is just such a great company. Disney is not like a real, like this is never going to be a Wall Street bet stock,
just,
right?
You know, houses are moving. When I go on Zillow now, I like to play around with Zillow sometimes, you know, if I got some time in my hands, and I just go around clicking on houses. And the amount of contingents I'm seeing is like I've never, ever seen in Vegas in 5+ years I've lived out here. I moved out here in 2015, right? I've never, like, it's more houses I'm clicking on are contingent than say house for sale. And so, yeah, I look at that and
I love Redfin. I think it has more potential than Zillow and Opendoor in the long term. So we'll see. Stay tuned. Number 7, Shift Technologies. So that's a big move here. Good for Hyliion. We got Zillow up 4%. Shift Technologies. If they're reporting today, that's going to be fun. We'll watch this at the closing bell. That'll be fun. OGI giving up some love right now. ARK ownership weight. Tesla, T-Doc, Square, Roku, Zillow. See, I wouldn't have Roku. I would get rid of Roku. I'd have Redfin instead. Yeah, I mean, okay, CRISPR's a good one. Bot is down, sorry, from lecture 1.0. Okay, Zillow really giving up some money here. Matterport going on sale, 5% off. Zillow giving up a little bit. Luminar, LiDAR. I'm out of LiDAR. Not in any LiDAR right now. Clever, definitely paying here. Clever and Enphase. EH released a statement. I really like Redfin. They did run up, though, after Zillow. So it's possible that we've already seen the push there. Wow, Matterport went negative. Oh, man. Man, look at that sell-off. But you know what? If Matterport can go under 20, I'm going to do some nibbling again. I got to get me some more Matterport. I mean, there's a whole nother industry. What about Zillow? So Zillow, they don't let us integrate Matterport. I cheat. I put a link on my Zillow photos.
You know, what everybody wants. And it's not just an Opendoor or a Zillow. I can tell you, like Keller Williams, Compass, all of these, modern agencies are looking to get an advantage in the game that is a data-driven advantage.
They rallied hard after the Zillow earnings. The fact that they're down, I can't tell what they're down. This is very annoying. Too, it's just too much was priced in with Zillow. It's here to stay though. If we go under 80, I'm buying. Okay, T-Doc. Look, Teladoc, great company too. At least they have a bullish open though. And that happens when you get a Zillow that reports first. you can oftentimes see that.
Big today, home builder, Zillow, it's stocks across the board, whatever you look at. I have a tab basically on my stocks tracker app, and it's basically a tab called no valuation care. And what do we see? We see all those stocks I have on there: Tesla, Snowflake, Chipotle, Zoom Video, Shopify, Amazon. All those stocks that are on that list, all down big today. So all of a sudden, whoa, all people care about valuations. In this video here today,
Often do your prices go up and down? What, like earnings yesterday, 4%. Zillow down 3%. CRISPR, Invitae, DoorDash, all red. Let's try to pick some. Where's Tesla? What are you doing today? Flat. How boring. Doing nothing. Neo up 1.7%. From Open Door, thank you for whoever mentioned that. Open Door. This could also move Redfin and Zillow. Open Door announces fourth quarter. We got 49 cents a share, or loss of 87 million, revenue of 248. Sees revenue in quarter one of 600 to 625 million. How? What? Their fourth quarter revenue? Because of springtime and real estate? How do you go from 248.9 mil? Oh, I think it's probably because you got maybe a bunch of people. There's some pain in this market today. Look, Zillow down 9%, and it's plummeting right now. It's all experiencing some serious pain right now. We got Pinterest. Pinterest is about to break under $60 a share. That's when it's going to start getting a little bit more juicy. Y'all know I've been looking for the more juicy stocks. Some of us have been talking about rotating a little bit from Apple and going into Tesla. Even Microvision selling off. Lots and lots of. To me, there's massive potential in Zillow long run, or Zillow as well, but Redfin long run. Tesla, obviously massively down from its peaks here, but not actually down as much as Reddit is. Close, not Reddit, Redfin. Close, but not down as much. Okay. Zillow. Where did Zillow come from? Now, Zillow trying to do a slight little rally here into the close. Looks like Redfin's actually selling off a little bit into the close. Fisker's doing, not sure what it's doing into the close. A lot of what the overall add to DocuSign again. What do we got here? Zillow down 6% in 3 days. So if you have not, but a lot of things. Why Zillow? Why would Zillow be getting smoked now too? Just everything. These really good companies just getting destroyed right now. The CNBC has to say. Let's see what Jimmy's talking about.
Look at that chart. And that is an also ran that is no longer an also ran. You may know it as K. You may know it as I'm looking at to see which one that David knows.
Why don't we pick, I don't know, we'll pick Zillow, okay? Just out of nowhere here. Let's pick Zillow. So Zillow, just here in this last crash here, went down to about 122-ish. We're at 133, so we're already kind of retesting into those spaces. Same thing, look at this. I mean, now, the market is just continuing to sell off here. For example, look at Square. Square went down to 191. 10% is going to be about 210.
PI, but so, I mean, look, if you've, pulled up Zillow anytime in the last few months, the prices are a lot higher than they were, 6 months or 12 months ago if you're buying something like property. So I think we've already started to see it. I don't think we're going to see, I'm not of the view that we're going to see hyperinflation that puts, the strength of the dollar.
State daily. Like, I doubt that you go onto Zillow. Do you go onto Zillow every day? And because I know you have like 25 properties. Okay. So you go onto Zillow every day, you add them all up and you're like, fuck, I lost 20 grand today. It's like, no, you don't do that. So that's
a shift about 850.
Think about who's Redfin's competitor. Redfin's competitor is Zillow. It's not the real estate agent. It's Zillow, because Zillow is actually competing for the eyeballs and getting the attraction of the consumer through that funnel to an agent. And I did a Facebook post probably a month and a half ago where I took their 10K numbers and they broke out the Zillow offers revenue. And I figured out, I think that the cost to the consumer is close to either 11 or 13%. Versus
with the fees that they charge and maybe the discount, huh?
Right. So the consumer's actually not benefited from a Zillow offers offer.
As I go through my saved Zillow listings, because we all do that. We all love that, right?
Just Nordstrom right here. Nordstrom, Gap, Zillow, Jiva, all these guys down about 1%. Churchill. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I could have. Maybe I got that one mixed up. I could have sworn. You are. Stop going outside of 30 minutes. If you do not know whether or not it is safe to do a Craigslist transaction where you're thinking about buying at 9 p.m. at night, first of all, you don't want to live there. And B, you don't even want to take the gamble if you don't know. You should know. Oh, I'd feel safe on that street. Absolutely.
And did all these things. And then
let's say no Zillow.
No Zillow, none of that stuff. None of it. Okay. Nothing on the computer at all. You just sell a house by putting a for sale sign in the window. That's it.
Of course, on new orders, but Zoom, Zillow, Spotify, Shopify, all have had a much better situation than they were 2 weeks ago. Some of these names were 20, 30, 40% off their old highs, but they've reasserted themselves, not in any dramatic way, but certainly well above where they were the last week and a half. In terms of the tailwinds, a lot of them that are out there right now, I think important just to know where we are in terms of the
better today, like Zoom or Opendoor and Zillow, which for some reason seem to do well when we have stay-at-home things going on. Arcimoto is actually back in green today, and so is Vuzi. Moderna's up. Another reaffirmation here of people loving the mRNA vaccines, which Johnson & Johnson's vaccine is not. We've got Peloton up 2%. Tesla's up 1.5%. We're at 212 right now. Still got some work to do to get to that 750 by the end. All right, what else do we have here? Zillow, GM, Gap, NGA. Gosh, it's just like this. You know what it feels like? It feels like most of the stocks, or a lot of stocks right now, are just sitting in like a Tesla battery that had an accident, just smoldering. We're up. Now the airlines are down. We've got Zillow down. We got Canoe down. We've got Win. You have Activision Blizzard today, Lyft, T-Mobile, Zillow, for all of those of you interested in good old Redfin, which has been beautifully red. Zillow is going to be one to pay attention to. What you're going to look for in, Jenny alerted the suits beforehand. Honestly, I believe that. What did we hit? Lyft, Activision Blizzard, and Zillow. Zillow is implying a 15% movement in the stock. We got Blizzard lagging a little bit before. We've got waiting on Lyft here as well, standing by on all of these here. Let me do a quick look here. T-Mobile as well. Ooh, Upwork today. Let's go. Upwork. Let's grab Upwork. Is Invitae today as well? Okay, we're going to grab that. Thank you. Zillow Q1, 8.2% year-over-year growth, 1.22 billion in Q1 revenue. We have beats expectations with 1.2 billion in revenue. No, I'm waiting for more highlights here. Don't have more highlights here, so we'll come right back to this one. Fubu not out yet. Skills not out yet.
That's internet and technology. Traffic to mobile apps and websites in Q1 up 19% year over year. So again, a nice beat for Zillow. A lot of that on that iBuyer program. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much for that one, Diana. Let's round things off. Greg, what's your take? I mean, a lot of earnings.
A beat on the iBuyer program. That's actually exactly what you want to look for even, here we go, more revenue from Zillow. Let's take a look at this. More revenue in iBuyers is exactly what you want to see from Redfin or from Zillow. And you're going to see more of that affect companies like Opendoor and Redfin as well. Keep in mind, it's very profitable to flip right now because you buy and hold. I mean, the price of the houses just goes up and up and up. It's really incredible. So what else here? So we've got Zillow Q1 revenue was 1.22 bill. Now we got some more details here. Versus 1.13 billion. That is under the estimate of 1.3. Zillow Group sees Q2. Yeah, exactly. Slightly down there. And their adjusted EBITDA, they're expecting to be somewhere between 116 and 140. Use that coupon code, link down below. Expires tomorrow. All right. line chart. Electric bus stock. Moderna, Fastly, Zillow. I'm surprised Zillow only 2.8% after yesterday's earnings. Let's see here. Excuse me. All right. Churchill Capital is up a little bit here. Churchill's that's crazy. Zillow. Somebody says Zillow selling off. Hold on. Peloton Shred here. Peloton is recalling about 120. Oh my gosh! I'll pull up the exact number on Peloton because I have it written down, but I do remember that. But anyway, I don't know why is Zillow selling off 3.9%. They did. I'm sorry, 3.29%. They did very well on their earnings, so I'm actually surprised by that. Yeah, wow, that's incredible. So what else do we have? We got Peloton. Peloton now down at 88, so down even about $2.50 more. The broader market sort of bouncing here as well. The mortgage companies, the Redfin, the Zillow. It's just an industry-wide whack of real estate related stocks, despite really real estate being such a beacon of strength right now in markets. Certainly real estate pricing. Volatility is shooting up a little bit here.
Outsized gains for names like Roku, Nikola, Zillow, and Match. And the energy sector in the lead again today to cap off a very strong week. Now up more than 8% since Monday's open. 59 minutes left to go in the trading week, going for 5 days in a row of gains for the Dow, Wilfred.
Coming up in just a few minutes, a big exclusive interview with ARK Invest CEO Kathy Wood. After stellar returns in 2020, her flagship innovation ETF is down 11%.
Juicy. So juicy.
You got to find where you can fit in. You might not fit in Beverly Hills, but, you go find somewhere you can fit in and you can afford to buy, and make it happen.
ARK F. What else? Roblox basically down at its IPO price. Even Dave & Buster's down now. The very good food company's down. Teradyne's down. MP Materials down. Voyager's down. Voyager was up earlier. Canopy Growth is down. U-Time's down. These guys are all down 4 to 4.5%. F. Quick. All right, well, they're up about 4%. That's going to be good for Zillow and Redfin. They're all obviously in the same boat. Yeah, Open Door just came out a couple minutes ago. Open Door comes in at 48 cents as a loss per share. Oh, their revenue came in strong, $747 million versus $620 expected. That's a really good beat. And their loss was only, and I know that sounds crazy, but their loss was only $20.8 million versus estimates. As soon as I read those earnings, I go, that's going to be good for Redfin and Zillow. I don't see Zillow up here, but Redfin is certainly catching up to that reaction. Let's see here. Redfin is the Redfins, the Squares, the Teladocs, even the Kevin O'Leary Zooms, the Zillows, right? That's our future. Let's be real. So, the definition of value is a little skewed. Now, if you look at like Warren Buffett style value, if you want Warren Buffett style value, you look at a stock like Shift. It plays along with Warren Buffett's playbook perfectly. It goes nowhere. It just trades sideways. But it wasn't all in one day, the crash. It was a nice crash spread out over 2.5. Trade Desk. Red candle sticking. Zillow down.
Could buy something in Brooklyn. According to Zillow, it may not be a house or even an apartment. There's a parking place in Brooklyn going for $80,000.
Public can see them. Jeez. Oh. Frenzied U.S. housing market are tapping a new source of properties regular buyers can't reach. Capital Management Group here and related entities bought more than 200 houses in the first quarter through iBuyers, including Open Door. 100 for you. Lowers those transaction costs. No realtors to pay. Less deals for realtors to work on. It's a bummer. Then I guess it would just be Zillow and Open Door in that case. So maybe don't include Redfin in that group then regarding folks selling properties, buying them from folks off market and then potentially selling them or in Redfin. 6%. Exact Sciences, Zillow, Zoom, Unity, Spotify, CRISPR, 10x Genomics, Twitter, Palantir, DocuSign, UiPath, DraftKings, Invitae, and so on and so forth. I think pulling down here, Beyond Meat, Ubiquity, Solar Edge, Zillow, and
where real estate, I was looking at some I was on Zillow last night. I hadn't been on Zillow for a little bit, and I was looking at some of these houses here in Vegas for sale in some of the nice areas in Henderson and in Summerlin and whatnot. And I was like, my gosh, have prices changed in the past year, needless to say.
Well.
Nvidia, SoFi, Tech, Lemonade, Zillow. It's the higher multiple, more tech style stocks did very, very well today.
That's why I will be holding it for a long time. Next up on my list is Zillow, stock ticker ZG. This is an American online real estate marketplace company. So right now, Zillow Group is trading at $124.59 with a 52-week low of $55.86 and a 52-week high of $212.40. Looking at the one-year price chart, we can see that 1 year ago, they were trading under $75 per share. And until mid-February of 2021, they literally just shot up in value. Since then, we've seen a very big correction, one that I think is just too dramatic, with now trading around $125 per share. Zillow has a market cap of $30.79 billion, an extremely high PE ratio of 544.06, and earnings per share of 23 cents. Looking at their valuation measures, we can see that they have a price to book ratio of 5.6. And then looking at the profitability, we can see that they have a profit margin of 1.55%, and the return on equity is also very low at 1.19%. Looking at their balance sheet, we can see that they have total cash of really great current ratio of 6.16. Now, right now, analysts are rating Zillow Group as a 2.1, meaning it is a buy, and the average analyst price target is $183.56, which is about 50% higher than the current price of $124.59. So what's exciting is that this digitalization of house hunting is likely here to stay. The same way that buying groceries might turn fully digital at some point. It just makes sense, and that's also coming from me as a real estate broker, because even though it's going to affect me, I know that companies like Zillow and Redfin are changing the real estate game, which in my opinion was much overdue. Target of $202 for Zillow, predicting that the company's estimated house sales numbers based on the number of removed listings on Zillow offers will top previous expectations of $720 to $750 million voting rights. And you have ZG, which is the Class A shares with voting rights. Both trade for roughly the same amount, and it doesn't really matter which one you choose. So yeah, anyways, in the meantime, I'd suggest keeping Zillow on your watch list. And long term, Zillow should continue to be a real estate powerhouse and continue gaining market share in the industry. So yeah.
Spotify, Twitter, Zillow, Zoom, Netflix, Peloton, and Roku all sit inside ArcW. These are all digitally native companies that take something that's annoying to do in the physical world, renting a movie, paying someone, signing and sending a document, shopping, communicating with other people, and bring that activity online. Square, PayPal, Zillow, Aiden, Opendoor, and DocuSign all got rebalanced after either massive rallies or crashes.
All right, next stock on my wish list is Zillow Group. And I have to be careful with Zillow Group, to be honest with you, because I'm really infatuated with it. I love the app. I've been through some real estate transactions over the past few years where I was really hunkered down as a user of the app. So I really try to balance myself, because this is one too where earnings and sales growth, they look good in the future, but the price you pay get into the 80s, then the 50s. So for Zillow, I would argue that the forward look on an earnings standpoint isn't really too bad for as fast as they're growing. You could sneak a forward PE under 100, which isn't exactly value stock territory. Much more fair than some of the other names out there that are going 30, 40, 50x.